again, everyone. Welcome back to Little K Artistry. I am Little K, the artist also known as Kristen, and I welcome you back to my little corner of the art world today. I would like to first say welcome or welcome back if you're new or returning subscriber. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, I do hope that you will consider subscribing. I would love to have you do that and join our growing family of people from all over the world who have subscribed to this art channel. Second thing I would like to say is if you hear any squeaking in the background, my studio mascot, Mr. Bentley, has a new toy that has about 30,000 squeakers in it. And he's right out in the hallway, so he might bring it in here, I don't know. And I apologize if it's distracting, but he is in his element. He is loving playing with that toy, so I'm just going to let him do it. So today what I'm doing is a paint skin. And what I'm going to do, I'm not using the same colors as this, but I am attempting to make some more of these texture pieces. And I don't know if you can see this on camera or not, but this is raised and bumpy. And what part of this is a acrylic paint skin. So that is why I have this. I'm just going to hang this back up on my wall. That is how I do those texture pieces, which I am really loving. It is quickly becoming my signature piece as far as my specific style. I love doing them because I am loving the fluid art. As most of you know, that's how I got started. And this is abstract cellism that I am working with. And this is my new pouring medium that I will be doing a mixing video coming up very soon. I have to edit it. And what I do then is I put it on my signature base that I make, which has all the lumps and the bumps. And then I pull it and twist it and stretch it and make it into what I think looks like either a galaxy, like this one. This one kind of looks a little bit like a galaxy, which I just love. Or some of them look like nebulas. If there's a lot of color in the middle and then black and just a few cells, it kind of looks like a nebula. So these are my texture nebulas, and they start out with an acrylic paint skin. So that is what I'm doing today. And this is my homemade spinner that I made. It's just with a cake spinner and a round, this is a 16-inch cradled wood canvas. And you can see the link down below to make one of these for yourself. This is my smaller one, my 16-inch one. And you've also seen me use my larger one, which is 24 inches. It's the same thing. I just used a larger cradled wood canvas for that one. And then I have these, I just get them online. They actually are rectangular, and I just cut them to fit my spinner. And so far, all of my texture pieces that I've done, all of my, I'm going to call them nebulas. All of my nebulas have been on nothing larger than a 10-inch canvas. So these 16-inch paint skins work really well. I think I might be able to go up to as far as a 12-inch canvas, but that's really pushing it because I do like to have it go down over the sides, but I'm also considering doing something else with the sides. So I'm just kind of playing around with it. But anyway, I digress. Today, I am doing another one because I have so many ideas, and I have a bunch of the background pieces with the lumps and bumps. I have a bunch of those done, and I'm starting to add the acrylic paint skins on top. So some of you have asked, what do you do with the paint skins? Well, that's what I do. So far, that's what I do. So I'm making another one today, and this was a special request for a new collector. So I am going to be doing these colors, and this person had requested the same colors as like this. So they're not exactly the same, but I have got an idea that I think it's going to be very, very similar to that one. I think I might need to do a little bit. Let me run over real quick. I'm going to get a fluorescent pink because I really like fluorescent pink, and I think it will look smashing, darling, with these blues. So I'm just going to throw that in there. I'm not going to do very much of the fluorescent pink, but I'm going to do a little. So I'm going to call out these colors as I use them, so you'll know how I'm doing this. But I wanted to let you know that I'm only using 5 colors, and then I'm using my black top layer. And I will go ahead and tell you what these are. This is the Da Vinci, and this is, I think it's navy. No. Yes. No. Okay, let me go. It's not navy. I'm forgetting what color it is. I'm really loving the Da Vinci. It's indigo. I'm sorry. So this is the only one that I haven't got a label on yet. This is Da Vinci's indigo. So I have Da Vinci's indigo, and then I just have titanium white and Cunag. And then of course I have that fluorescent magenta that I just grabbed, and then I have just a dark teal. So these are all fluid acrylics. I have not mixed any of the tube paints yet with my new pouring medium, but I'm working on that coming up. So what are we going to do today? What I think I will do, I would like to have a really light background. So what I'm going to do is start with the white. And this is not house paint. This is golden fluid acrylics, and it's mixed with my Abstract Cellism pouring medium. So this is not house paint. There are some of the other pieces that I've done that do use house paint, but this is not one of them. Okay, there's the titanium white. Then, let me think. I definitely think I want to drizzle. Let me get my little drizzler here. I want to drizzle some of the Cunag just kind of in the middle. Like that. And then maybe a little bit on the outer edges. This is going to stretch. So it looks like I'm putting a lot of paint in one place, and I am. But the goal is to stretch this out, and it will come right to the edges, which is exactly what I want. Then on top of that, a little bit of the pink, because I want this to be kind of just peeking through. So, hi, Mr. Bentley. There, just a tiny bit of that. I want this to be mostly the darker colors. So the blues, and then of course the black top layer. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put this dark, this is just a darker teal. Aqua, I think this is an aqua. So you'll see I'm not covering it all this time. Sometimes I just dump them on and put a whole bunch right on top and cover the whole thing. But I want some of the colors to peek through. And when the cells, hi Bentley, when the cells form, I want them to be multicolored. So we'll go ahead and just drizzle a little bit of the blue. This is that indigo. I don't want a ton of this in the middle. I want this mostly on the outside edges. Let me just, for the heck of it, let me see. I don't think I have any, but let me run over. Bentley got one of the squeakers. Let me just run over here and see if I have. I do. Okay. I'm going to use the carbon black, just I think around the outside edge. Just kind of as a flow extender around the outside edge, because I like to have the color and the stars, as it were, in the center, and then have the outside edges be a little bit more dark. So I'm just going to put this, probably just go to this circle here, maybe. Let's see how this, oh, there's a chunk. There's a chunk. That is not good. I'm going to get that out of there. All right. So I'm just going to do just out a little bit. And like I said, this is just a flow extender. It's probably will get spun off, but if it doesn't, it will create a nice dark background. And I do want this to be darker, like I said, because it's supposed to be space. So there's the black. Let's put a little bit of the blue out here too. As I am painting this, the heat index outside of my window is about 97 here in central Maine. And this is rare for us, but sometimes June, July, and August we get a couple of days like this, and we're going like into the third week now of temperatures like this. Not every day, thankfully, but off and on it's been, woo. That's that a bubble? That's a bubble. I used to love the heat, you guys. And then, menopause. And now, I apologize for the gentlemen who are watching. This is an uncomfortable conversation for you, but I get hot flashes. And if you have a woman in your life who is older, who's going through menopause, you will completely understand. There are times when I literally stick my head in the freezer, and I'm not even kidding you. I want to just climb into the freezer, my whole body, the freezer. So I do have the air on. All right, so those are my colors. So I have that dark, this is turquoise, not teal, I apologize. This is a turquoise. And then I put the carbon black around the outside edge. We started with the titanium white, and on top of that, a little Cunag. And then I used a little bit of the fluorescent magenta, and of course that indigo, which is Da Vinci. This is one of my favorite blues now, you guys, this indigo by Da Vinci's. It's gorgeous. That one in Prussian blue is still my favorite, but the indigo is growing on me because it dries like a beautiful, rich, like almost like a royal blue. It's gorgeous. Okay, now the pièce de résistance, the top layer, and I'm going to say it again, although I was told to stop repeating myself because it's annoying. So just, I am what I am, and it is what I do. So I believe that repetition is a convincing argument. This is not a cell activator. I do not use that term. It is a top layer. It is simply a different viscosity, is a different mix. And you can watch the video for my abstract cellism. It is the same mix that Steve Chase uses for his top layer. This happens to be black. I just use a little bit of a different ratio than he does because he has a lot more force that he uses because he uses like a big air gun, and I just use a hairdryer. So I switched it up a little bit so that I could use my hairdryer and still get the same cellular effect. But this is not a cell activator. I do not use that term. I don't like it. And the reason why is because when I was getting started, I was very confused. This was before I found Steve Chase's channel where he explains it. I was getting so confused because I did not know what was being activated. I thought it was a chemical reaction, and what products do I need, what special ingredients do I need. Nothing's being activated, you guys. It's not a cell activator. It's just a different viscosity. It utilizes the Rayleigh-Taylor instability theory, and you can search. It's just fluid dynamics, very cool. Rayleigh-Taylor, pretty smart guy. I'm gonna say it was a guy. I apologize to Rayleigh-Taylor and the family if it was a girl. Okay. I am going to apply some pressure now in the form of my hairdryer. Just pop a couple bubbles. And let's see. The link to this is also in the description. Let's see if we can make a mess, right? Here we go. This is loud, I apologize, but it's got to be done. Don't look like much, does it? But wait and see. Okay, this is just a dry skewer. I don't have any oil on this at all. It's completely dry. I just want to create a few cells in the center. So I'm forcing actually I think I want bigger cells. So I'm going to use a flat end. I'm forcing that top layer. Instead of using the air, I'm just pushing it. And what that does is it uses, it's the same thing, and only I'm just using a skewer to do it. And the mix is unstable. And what happens is it forms cells because some of the colors, some of the paints are heavier and some of them are lighter. And the cells form depending on where the instability is. And I'm just going to force it a little bit because I want some bigger cells in some different areas. And you can see everywhere I've hit my skewer, and again, I'm using the flat side to make a bigger cell. Everywhere I've used my skewer, you can see the cells are starting to form, which is so cool. Another way to do it is by popping the air bubbles. That will also break the surface tension, and the instability will show in the form of a cell. All right, now I'm going to spin it a little, and then I think I'll have to stretch the outside edges. Oh, might not have to. Might not have to. Look at that. It's going to do it itself. Hi, Mr. Bentley. Mr. Bentley has its squeaker. Some of them, like this one here that I did, the center is totally dark. I went back in and painted that a little bit because I wanted the center to be dark. I may end up doing that with this one as well. All right, now, ooh. That is pretty. Okay, wow. Let's see if we can get a few more cells to come up. And by popping the bubbles, I do create the cells. And then we just let them grow. And then as they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it pushes the paints aside, the cells get bigger. And then as you spin them, they elongate. So then, as you see on this one, especially in this corner, you see how the cells are stretched, some of them, especially in the corners. I love that because they look like stars that have stretched. Oh, this is so pretty. Many people have watched me create these, and they all kind of say the same thing. Like, it doesn't look like much in the beginning, and then wowza, something happens. And this watercolor effect, because I got all the way through the black top layer and got down to the colors. And as you can see, I put quite a lot of white. Remember when I was pouring it out? Quite a puddle of white there, and there's not very much white on this canvas. And that is, I mean, this paint skin. That's the goal. I don't want a ton of white. What I want it to be is in the background where the stars are. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ah. I'll do another one of these for me because I am loving. Some of these big cells that I created with the tip of my skewer are starting to look like flowers. That one, and that one, and that one. This one actually has a spin to it. It looks like a galaxy. That's beautiful. A happy accident. But some of these look like flowers. They're just, wow, they're so pretty. And these would have formed had I not used my skewer, but I just wanted to kind of force them. And if you do this style and you really like making paint skins and you want to do something with them, if you end up, once it's dry, if you end up going, oh, there's too many there, or, you know, I want this to be darker, or I think I want this part, these parts to be darker, you can just go in with black paint and touch up, which I might do. All depends on what the gal who requested this, if I will show her this, and if she likes it as is, I won't do anything to it. But she may decide that she wants fewer stars or more stars. I can add more in later. There's so much you can do with this. These are super fun to create. And if you really like using paint skins, this is a super easy mix I'll be showing very soon. And you can do so much with it. Okay, I'm gonna stretch these a little bit, so I'm just gonna spin it a little more. And that's up to you if you leave them circular. I like to elongate them a little bit. They look really cool. And because there are so many, because I used a lot of the white, the titanium white in the background, because there are so many stars in this one, if she's not really feeling the vibe of all the stars, I will likely go back and just touch up a few of them, maybe darken them, or just put black on them and get rid of them altogether. But I like it just as it is. There are some, this one is a cell within a cell. And then I've got two cells side by side right there that look like eyeballs that are totally cute. And these flowers, these look like blooms. They're, wow. And they have multiple colors because when I pushed the skewer down in, I pulled all the colors up through, as opposed to some of these guys, which were bubbles. And they formed, and then they just popped a little bit, so it's just one layer. So most of those are just single colors. But then there are those that I forced that are just beautiful, that look like flowers. I'm repeating myself, but I can't help it because it's so pretty. Oh my goodness, this is... Yeah, I like this one a lot. Totally psyched with how it came out. I don't think I need to spin anymore. I do need to see what's going on over here though, because this looks like it might be that, remember that piece of something I pulled out in the beginning? This looks like there's another, yeah, another piece there. Thankfully it was right on the edge. No worry there. I will take a little bit of black and just fill in a tiny bit right there. There. Perfect. All right, so I am loving the way this is just as is. I may have to do another one. The colors are very similar. I'll show you this one. The only difference between that one and this one is in this one, my top layer was a little bit thinner. So it allowed more cells to form on the outer edge. So there's less black and more cells. But basically the same colors. Loving it. I think she'll be very happy with that. I might just spin a little more, see if I can get a little more stretching going on. Bentley likes to chew the squeakers out, and then I have taught him to trade because he used to chew them up, and I was worried that he was going to hurt himself, to cut his mouth or whatever. So I teach him to trade, and then he gets a little something something when he gives Mama his squeaker. He performs his little squeakerectomies on his toys. Okay, this is so pretty. I really like this a lot. I hope you guys do too. I'm gonna come around there. I'll take my gloves off, come around there, and I'll show you the close-up. It's so interesting how this top layer works, because when you blow all the top layer away, you get this beautiful watercolor look. But then where it's sitting, you've got the cells, and it's just beautiful. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. I've got this one over here. Let me show you this one, you guys, before I come in for a close-up. This one is still drying. Everyone has asked, what do you do? How do you get them off the spinner? Well, this one is still wet in the center, but as you can see, I took it off the spinner. It's very thin paint. You can tell, you probably see it's shiny in the middle. I took it off. I just took whatever that thing was that I that I set on there first. So I take, that's why I'm scraping it up under here like this, so that once this starts dry, and it dries from the edges in, once it starts to dry, it's not sticking to my spinner. So I just lift it off and then put the spinner right at the edge of the table, and then I just slide it onto a level surface, and then I can use my spinner again. But I don't usually do that until several hours later, because I like to have it get, you know, start setting up around the edges before I try to move it. And typically these thin ones will dry anywhere between 24 and 36 hours. They'll be completely dry, and then I can use them for whatever I want to use them for. So this one I'm loving. This one I'm really loving. I'm gonna come over there and give you guys a close-up. I will bring you in so that you can see this nebula, and then hopefully you will comment, let me know what you think. There's that beautiful center. See if I can get you in a little closer. See what I mean by it looks like watercolor? It's just beautiful. And then this little stars peeking out through. And the multiple colors. But see these, the ones that I used with my skewer, don't they look like little flowers? They're just the prettiest little flowers ever. And that was totally by accident. I did not even know that was going to happen. That one looks like a pansy. And they're just so pretty. Let me see if I can find those eyeballs. Remember I told you I saw, oh, there they are. I love it when there's little people in my, there's the little eyeballs. See them? Isn't that cute? Hello. Oh, yeah, I'm weird. And that one looks like it has a spiral. That's the one I said looks like a galaxy. Isn't this just so interesting? I could look at this for hours. This is part of the reason why I just love abstract cellism, because you can just keep finding things interesting to look at. And look at those cells. The cells look like watercolor. Isn't that pretty? And then I'll pull out here so you can have a top view. So you see the whole thing. There you go. So I'm not sure yet. I'm going to ask the gal who requested this. I am going to ask her if she wants me to leave all the stars, or if she would like me to darken it up a little bit in spots. A lot of my collectors will say, just do what you want to do and create it your way, which I love when they say that. It's like creative freedom, and I just love that. Hope you guys enjoyed looking at the close-up. I'll come back over. Okay, the light is back on. So this one is very similar, very, very similar to this one. That was the goal. I think if I thin down the top layer a little bit, I'll get even more cells, so it will look even more like this one. I will likely do that next time, see if I can get it to look like that. But this one is just, it's growing on me. I love it, and I'm just loving it. The more I look at it, the more I'm loving it. And I hope that my collector is as thrilled with it as I am. I really am eager to hear what you all think. And if you like this style, if you'd like to see more of it, I simply can't stop. I'm considering doing a video where I show the whole process from the beginning to the final texture piece. I don't know yet. These are really special, and it's something very unique that I've not seen anyone else do yet. And I'm being very protective of it until I perfect it. So I appreciate you guys all for understanding. And thank you so much for the support and encouragement. And I appreciate all that so much. You guys are just, I keep saying it, and I'm going to say it again one more time in this video, that Little K Artistry has literally the best subscribers on YouTube. You guys are fantastically phenomenal. I'm constantly getting emails, and I'm getting messages on Facebook, and some of you are starting to message me on Instagram now, and I am so thrilled to hear from you. So keep that coming. Thank you so much for all the positive feedback. I long to hear your comments on this piece. Thank you for joining me. And this is, once again, this is Little K at Little K Artistry. I am here in my little studio, my little corner of the art world. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And go make the art. You'll be so glad you did.